Hi middle one. Our lesson today is about multiplying and dividing rational numbers and the properties of rational numbers under multiplication and division. Multiplying and dividing rational numbers. To multiply any two rational numbers by the same concept of multiplying fractions, like this figure, if I multiply third times fourth, here I will repeat the third just fourth times. That means I will take the common shaded part, which is 1/12. Another example, if I need to multiply 2/7 times 3/5, here I will shade two parts of 7, here I will shade 3 parts of 5. If I need to repeat this 2/7 just 3/5 times, that means I will take the common shaded part, which is 6/35. By this way, I can determine the rule of multiplying fractions or multiplying rational numbers. Just multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. For example, here the answer will be 2 times 4 equals 8 in the numerator, 3 times 5 equals 15 in the denominator. The answer will be 8/15. But middle one, don't forget to simplify first before multiplying to be more easier. Here I can simplify 8 with 16 and 5 with 15, so the answer will be 1/6. Now let's talk about dividing rational numbers. The concept of dividing rational numbers is the same concept of dividing fractions. In this example, I need to divide this half by 1/6. Just I will search I have how many group of 1/6 in this half. I will find 3. So the answer is 3. Another example, here I need to divide 2/3 by half. Here I will search I have how many groups of this half and this 2/3. As shown in this figure, I will have 1 half and third. Now let's remember the reciprocal rule of division. I have many forms of division. I can write A divided B by this way, or A/B, and A/B is the same like A times 1/B, which is the reciprocal of B. For example, 3 divided 5, I can write it as 3/5, which is 3 times 1/5, and 1/5 is the reciprocal of 5. From the previous slide, I can now explain the rule of dividing rational numbers or dividing a fraction. If I have two fractions or two rational numbers dividing, I can keep the first one and I exchange the division sign by multiplying 1, and I can flip the next or the second rational number by finding the reciprocal of it and multiply as normal. For example, here I need to divide 3 over 4 by 3 over 20. I can use the rule of the reciprocal, keep, exchange, flip, keep, exchange, flip. Keep the first rational number, exchange the division sign by multiplying 1, flip the next fraction or the next rational number by finding its reciprocal. So the answer will be, or the new form of the question will be 3 over 4 times 20 over 3, and then you can simplify before multiplying 3 with 3 and 4 with 20. After that, multiply as normal, numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, so the answer will be 5. Now middle one, let's talk about properties of rational numbers under multiplication and division. The first property is closure property. Rational numbers is closed under multiplication. That means for any two rational numbers, the answer of multiplication operation of them, the result is element of the rational number. But rational numbers not closed under division cause the existence of the zero, and we said that dividing by zero is undefined or meaningless. The second property, I can say that rational numbers is commutative under multiplication. For any two rational numbers, a times b equals b times a, but rational numbers is not commutative under division. Also, rational numbers is associative under multiplication for any three rational numbers like this, and rational numbers is not associative under division. And for distributive property, I can distribute multiplication on addition or subtraction. So if I have a times b plus c equals a times b plus a times c. Now let's talk about two important properties of rational numbers under multiplication and division, which are multiplicative identity and multiplicative inverse. The multiplicative identity is 1, and we can write the property of multiplicative identity like a over b times 1 equals 1 times a over b equals a over b. The multiplicative identity is 1, which is called also the neutral element. And the property of multiplicative inverse is for any rational number, its inverse is the reciprocal of it. And I can write the property of multiplicative inverse like a over b times its reciprocal times b over a equals its neutral element, or the neutral element of the rational number, or the multiplicative identity, which is 1. Now let's have some exercises. Complete 3 over 2 times negative 4 over 5 equals negative 4 over 5 times what? Times 3 over 2 and its commutative property. 2 over 3 times 3 over 2, this property is the multiplicative inverse and equals 1. 7 times its reciprocal equals 1 and its multiplicative inverse. Here, negative 4 over 5 times what gives me the same rational number times the neutral element or the multiplicative identity, which is 1. And here negative 4 over 11 times what gives me 1 times its reciprocal, its multiplicative inverse. Find the value of n in each of the following. Here I have a rational number and its multiplicative inverse, so n equals 1. Here I have a rational numbers times a certain rational numbers gives me 1, so this number for sure its multiplicative inverse. And here a rational number times 1 gives me 0. I have a property which is multiplying by 0 equals 0, so here n equals 0. And here the same rational number, so this n for sure the multiplicative identity 1. And here I have distributive property. I have a certain number multiplied by brackets inside it addition operation. I will distribute multiplication to addition, so here n times half and here 5 times negative 3 over 5. For sure this n is 5. If x equals third and y equals 3/4 and z equals negative 3, find in the simplest form the numerical value of each of the following: x, y, z, which means x times y times z. Then I will substitute by the numerical values of these variables, which is third times 3/4 times negative 3. And I can simplify first before multiplying. I can simplify the 3 with 3, so the answer will be negative 3/4. Thank you middle one for listening, and we gonna meet in another lesson.